Hola Madridistas, welcome to the preview for match day 4 of the UEFA Champions League as we host AC Milan at the Bernabeu. Joining us today is, of course, Farouk, who has lived in Milan for so long he's almost an honorary Milan fan at this point. But before we get into that, a quick shout out to the sponsors for this episode, Manscaped. With the holiday season just around the corner, their performance package 5.0 Ultra is going to bring you some ho 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 to your no zone. So check that out and more at manscaped.com and use code LBR20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. Farooq, how's your no zone going, man?
Well, I mean, it's thanks to Manscaped, it's going all good, bro. All good.
Nice, nice.
It's the weekend, and you have to keep everything intact.
Exactly. It's a hard thing to do in Milan, yeah?
I mean, I refuse to, comment on that.
Sure, sure. But yeah, man, have you been to any AC Milan games this season? Have you met any fans? What's the feeling around the club?
Yeah, man, I was at a game 2 weeks ago against Milan against Udinese, actually. Uh, it's quite right now. The feeling is actually right. The team is actually playing well, but they're actually not winning games.
Are they playing well? Really? Like,
Yeah, like
I've been
honestly,
on
like
the
the
Milan
team,
Reddit, and then everyone's like, "Man, this new manager has to go." And I was like, "Okay, these are
yeah,
conversations
of
that we
course,
have
they're
on
they're
the Real
they're,
Madrid
they're
stuff
talking
too."
about the fact that no, I mean, like the team has been playing well. I mean, okay, like not like super well, but like they've been playing well at least because like in the game against Napoli, they were better than the opponents. Like they've been playing quite well, but they've just not been able to convert it into points. And actually, the big issue that's occurring that's that I think it's eventually is going to lead to the end of Francesca is the fact that there is a rift between him and Rafa Leao and Tio Hernandez.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, Rafa Leao is maybe the best player in the league, or at least the best winger in the league. You understand? So when you have this star man, and of course, like we know what Rafa is like. Leao is a player that blows hot and cold. Just reminds you of the 2018, 2019, 2020 Vinicius. So all flashes without any output. Today it's output, tomorrow there is no output. But the point is like, unlike Vinicius at those times, like Liao is not a teenager. He's not 20 years old. You understand? Like Liao is a full outgrown player who should, be reaching his prime at this point. But still, there's still a bit of stuff there. So like he's been benched because like Francesca has come up with this new formation, with a 4-2-3-1, basically where they play with with Morata as a 10 and like a striker. Like normally it was Abraham. At least we saw that in the derby, like he unleashed that formation, and Liao was out of it, and Liao was injured as well for a while, and Theo was in and out. So it's been like that. But the issue about that you have with this is that okay, like when you're dropping the star man and the most talented players in the team, like you need to win games. But
Yeah.
when you're not winning games, it now becomes a bigger problem. So this is the thing. And as I said, like so far so good. Like the games I've seen, honestly, they've been playing well, but they've just not been winning games. So the issue is now like, okay, football is a result-based game. So like, is Milan actually gonna give this guy a chance or not? Because like as I said, like players like Okafor and Samu Chukwueze actually have been really doing well, and of course the star man is Christian Pulisic. He's been a revelation this season. Honestly, like he's been in superb form, arguably the most informed player in the whole of Serie A right now. Like he's been doing quite well. So till what point do you like say okay, enough is enough? Like, and even if you don't reach that point, the management is gonna have to back someone because let's not forget, like Liao is a George Mendes player. So like when you're a George Mendes player, there's always gonna be that external pressure from the super agent on the club as well. I think Milan is gonna reach a point where either they back Liao or they back Francesca. So this is definitely like they're heading for a collision course. So right now it's not all plain sailing. Uh,
But
in Milan actually
but
right
why
now,
did he
unfortunately, both
actually
on and
start to
off the
bench
pitch.
Leo, man? Like, why did that happen? It's so easy to fit him into any team, right?
I
He's
mean,
just gonna be the line breaker. His role is pretty defined. He doesn't have to do too much else.
well, so this is the thing. Like, what's he called? What Francesca is asking is a lot of hard work from the wingers. This is why he's playing no overco and Sam Chukwueze as well. He's looking for a lot of hard work from the wingers actually. So and Liao is not the most hardworking winger that exists out there. Of course, like for all the fear and the attacking output, like there's a defensive deficiency there. So that's it, and also like because of that, like he wants a certain kind of pressing, a certain kind of ball recovery, and certain kind of effort, which at least till date he hasn't seen from Rafael Leao yet. But again, this is the thing. Like Rafael always, any games he enters, like he always, brings something, to the team, and this is something that we've seen over and over in the past weeks. So it's not so even at the weekend as well. I think just the game, against Monza as well. Liao came on in the 68th minute, and all of a sudden the game changed. So it's that's the thing. Like like Liao is there, and like I said, like it's just an enigmatic player, and with an enigmatic agent as also the coach and the coaching staff and the management eventually are heading for a collision course because someone has to give either Liao leaves or Francesca leaves. Only time will tell about that. But right now,
And
it's
I don't
it's
think
not
Leo's
it's
gonna
not all
leave. It's gonna
roses
be
in Milan.
Fonseca, right? His job is almost on the line if he doesn't get serious results until December.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is like he snapped the 6 match losing streak against in the derby against Inter as well. So so there is that at least he's riding on the back of that. But he just won a game, so it's I think they're just taking their time to see what happens. In my opinion, from now until the Christmas break, as we know, like in the Serie, also goes on Christmas. I think they're trying to evaluate and see if something is there. But one thing for sure I can tell you is this: definitely, I have seen improvements from them because when they first started, they could not do shit, and now you can actually see that yeah, they're playing, but yeah, they're not okay. They're not winning matches yet. They're not yeah, they're not converting chances yet, but you can see an improvement. But this is the thing, like with football, like if you're asking for a coach, especially these coaches that work in a how can I say, like in a very rigid system, you need time for them to get their
Results.
their tactics across to the players. So this is just the thing, like you need that time, and especially when we concern Milan. That I mean, with all due respect, I don't think this Milan are world beaters, man. Like I mean, you look at this, you look at the team from head to toe, and Christian Pulisic is the most informed, the best player in there. I mean, yeah, we know Americans hype and shit like that, but bro, like Christian Pulisic is like at best, an average subs, impact player of the bench, not the star man for the team. So this is just the thing. So that tells us a lot about what they are right now. And injuries also have not been really kind to them. Like Tammy Abraham was starting to get into form. He came on and he got injured as well. So as I said, like Tio's been in and out of the team. Calabria is also in and out of the team. So it's been up and down for them. So not looking too good, but like yeah, they're playing themselves into form just without the results yet.
Yeah, goes to show. I was also just hanging around looking at the performances from Reinders. He seems to be Jude Bellingham from last season, just from Wish.com. Do you agree? Like, is he is he doing the Jude Bellingham role? Just from his late runs into the box, his finishes.
Definitely, I would agree with that to some extent. Like Tijani Reinders has been really, really, has been really pivotal to everything that Francesca is trying to do with AC Milan right now. And as you mentioned, like he's also found that purple patch of scoring goals. So like he's been really, really vital. As you said, like a la Bellingham as well, and he's an all-action midfielder as well. So it's quite yeah, let's just say he's the purple patch. But even away from the purple patch as well, I think like he's been really quite good, for Milan. Honestly, like I think he's been maybe the second best player after Christian Pulisic.
Well, that's huge praise, man. How about Morata though? So he's not really playing a striker, is he? He's doing more of a number 10 role, like in Spain.
Yeah, actually, like, well, since Tammy is gone injured, like now he's back to playing the number 9 role.
Mm-hmm.
He's back playing number 9 role, so like Christian Pulisic now is just behind him in the hole. But now, yeah, he's back to playing as the leading man. But as you know, with Morata, like one thing you can never doubt about Morata is that pressing skills, that ability to hound people and remove the love of the game from put fear into defenders and like remove that ability to play out of the back from those guys. So like from the defenders. So this is one thing about Alvaro Morata we never can deny or take away from him. So
Yeah, man. Morata is going to be a pain in the ass for sure. Even if he's out of form, even if he's not playing in the right position, he's always there to haunt us. These ex-Real Madrid players, man, they somehow just get to us. But how about this, right? This was what I was thinking. So the Valencia game got postponed. And do you think Milan, at the form that they are in right now, they're the ideal team for us to, face off and provide some confidence to the fans again?
Yeah, actually, I think more other than Milan being in the form that they are, I think like going to the Marseille and of course like we know what happened in that region and like our grievances and condolences to those guys and hopefully they get back on their feet. But like the Marseille is historically been a very difficult place for us to go, and then especially with the hostility that's around Vinicius Junior in that stadium as well. So I feel like it's, and also like the whole shenanigans with the Ballon d'Or or lack thereof coming off of the Classico nightmare as well. So it would have been a very very difficult environment to go into. So having that sanctuary of the White House and also playing a Milan team that's not completely firing on all cylinders yet. So I think it's I would say like like not going to the Marseille and playing at the Bernabeu against Milan. It's a bit of a better fixture.
For sure, man. And DROS was even reporting that there's going to be support for Vinny during the match. There's going to be like a standing ovation or something uh, to support Vinny for his Ballon d'Or. So the saga's still not over. Even after all of these specials, we've heard it from all of these news outlets. They're still milking it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, right now, like, I mean, with all due respect, I think, like, the issue is turning into something else entirely because, like, when you're starting to hear the narrative around, because I have seen things, people are saying, like, oh, Vinny flew his family on, Vinny's had a party planned and this and that. And I'm sorry, but, like, do you think Rodri just went to a restaurant and asked for a reservation for 20 people? Of course, they plan these things. This is how it is. It's normal, planning this event is normal. Like, you don't just show up at the restaurant for, I mean, come on. Even I mean the local kebab shop here you go to, like when you're like 5 6 people, they don't have a place for you to sit, like you have to tell them in advance. So it's just normal, and I kind of find it really really strange that people will go to that levels, will fall to that levels of like criticize. Of course, yeah, you can criticize Vini and everything, but like when you're saying that this guy flying his friends from Brazil or wanting to party with his Brazilian family is arrogance, I'm like, bro, not all of us actually have our families in Europe. You do know, like we're not all white. Like we're not born here. Like we literally come from different parts of the world. So because people keep milking this, it keeps going on, and it's becoming something else. Honestly, so and the thing about this also, when there is no game, there is nothing to talk about. So you
Exactly.
create narratives, you create more narratives, and you create more narratives.
Man, but
So
what
the
was
point
stunning
is,
was like I did not expect this from Gary Neville, man. Like usually he's like one of my favorite pundits. Like he doesn't have these outlandish takes, but this one was crazy.
I mean, they have to. They talk for the clicks, man. They talk for the baits, man. Honestly, I don't know, but like they do their stuff. They have to talk for clicks. They have to talk for baits, and this is the thing. I mean, even like the lady who was talking about like actually she was together with Gary Neville, actually, and Rebecca Lowe, actually she was together with Gary Neville on the podcast. They were talking about this, and when you see everyone was also like, wow, this is the first time she's actually had a very strong stance, when it comes to talking about shit. And of course, they talk about clicks and all that, but like, we have to be very careful about the narrative that we build up. Like, okay, Rodri doing this, it's fine, but Vinicius flying in family from Brazil is arrogance, like, so we have to sit back, and this is the thing that Vinicius has been fighting for the past 18 months to 2 years. Like this is the point. This is what he's saying. Like the way they perceive a certain person from a certain region is the way it's different from the way you perceive other people. So it's quite strange. But anyways, we need to put an end to this discussion. Honestly, like, and that the only way to do that is to have games. Like the point is whatever happens, either lose or win the game, at least you divert the conversation away from this whole shenanigans. So because I mean the game at the Classico, the Classico was totally shambolic, and we came on Monday and everyone has actually forgotten that we had a shambolic Classico, because this was all being talking about. So like yeah, let's get back to discussing what's on the pitch, and hopefully like this game will be a very good how should I say, a very good medicine or rather medication to the shenanigans that we've had over the past couple of days.
Absolutely, man. Two European giants, not really in the best of forms. Both managers needing to put out performances, trying to keep their jobs and getting back the support of the fans, the players. So yeah, it's gonna be a firecracker for sure. And let's actually go to the ad break, and when we're back, we'll discuss the Real Madrid side of things, the lineups, the predictions, and whatnot. Yeah, let's take it away.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you, if you're ever looking for a way to support us, please do so and go to manscaped.com. Use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Check out these thick silicone bristles. They are 100% antibacterial. No more germs hiding on your head. The bristles gently exfoliate your scalp, and the product helps reduce flaking caused by dry skin and buildup. One of the coolest features is that it helps stimulate blood flow to your hair follicles, and increased blood flow equals healthier hair. And trust me, I know I have a lot of it. Bristles also enhance shampoo penetration for more foam and less product. And with that, you can also pair the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner from Manscaped for the ultimate hair care routine. And this is a pretty big, sizable thing. And let's not forget the relaxing massage that it provides after a long day. Using this feels like a mini spa treatment. It's a great way to unwind while taking good care of your scalp. So yeah, go to manscaped.com, use our code LBR20 at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping.
Yeah, welcome back, folks. Yeah, so where do you want to start off with the Real Madrid side of things, man? You want to go to the fun stuff first, or just the usual stuff like injuries and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, the point is, there is nothing, that I said, like, there is nothing, that we want more than just, moving past all these shambolic things, like just going into the game, playing the game, and, whatever happens, that happens on the pitch, let that be our subject of discourse after that. But of course, like, there is nowhere to start than, the the performance of the team, the lack of personnel that we have right now, and the deficiencies of center backs, the deficiency of full backs, So we have to talk about that, the balance that we're trying to find that doesn't exist, the so yeah, that's just it. Like we need to, I think the starting point might just be, like talking about how our defense, has gone from last year with Rudiger being superhuman, to what we are right now. That just a ball through the in between them, and they don't really know what to do. And you put in a cross, and literally they're forgotten. They're in no man's land, and Lewandowski was there doing his fisting. And of course, like Alvaro Morata is not a striker in the ilk of Robert Lewandowski as well, but this is someone who's going to be targeted, for crosses as well. So if our team is not able to, and let's not forget, just last year, basically, I think a couple of months ago, like last, I think it was February where he, no, not February, it was in September last year when he had that, phenomenal game against us at the Metropolitano while playing for Atletico Madrid. So those kind of crosses, those kind of services, if allowed to be provided to Alvaro Morata, he will definitely.
What do you mean allowed, man? Like those crosses are gonna come. Just think about it. Theo Hernandez plus may possibly Rafael Leao bearing down again together against Lucas Vazquez. Those crosses are gonna come in no matter what.
Okay, so that's the thing. Like I mean, so it's just as you said that they're gonna come, and so what do we do then? Like how are we able to deal with them? So we need Rudiger and Militao, to be on their A game, not to lose concentration and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, it's not looking too good right now. But I do hope and I believe that they can be able to regain that concentration that they had, and be able to regain that form that they had in the past as well. It's going to be quite interesting, because otherwise Alvaro Morata is going to feast on those crosses, honestly.
Yeah, man. What I don't understand is like just from the Clasico, like why the hell did Jude have to play such a deep role almost as a right back? Why couldn't Fede actually do that work? Jude, why was he actually moved to the right, man? I just don't understand. Do you think we'll ever see a repeat of that, or was that just a Clasico experiment?
I mean, but that I think that was there since the Villarreal game. Like Jude has been shifted to the right, I think, since the Villarreal game. So it's not like something that it's not like a reaction to the Clasico or anything. Like this is the plan that they made, that okay to count, or rather to balance the absence of Dani Carvajal. You play Jude there and use his athleticism to mask the defensive deficiency of Lucas Vasquez. I think this is just a plan that's there. It's not about like a one game thing or something like that. So I think we will continue to see that. I definitely do think we most likely will continue to see that. But as you're just saying, like it takes away from some of the attributes that Jude brings. But then again, this team is searching for balance, and right now, like they're just throwing everything at the sink and trying to see what will work or what will not work. So this is just the issue there, and it's a
So
waste of talent. I get what you're saying, but it is what it is.
it's what's required right now. That's what you're saying.
Exactly, man. I mean, right now even with that, we could still see how much as we talked about, previously, like Rafinha was able to feast on Lucas Vasquez to score I think the third goal or the fourth goal rather. Yeah, so it's we need this balance. Like people just have to put in shifts and all that. But the problem is that like while we still have this deficiency, because I was actually reading something yesterday and it's saying that we've scored exactly the same amount of goals that we've scored last year. At this
Really?
point, we've scored the same amount. Yeah. However, the point now becomes that Kylian Mbappe is not that addition, or rather, Kylian Mbappe was an addition based on subtraction of Jude Bellingham. I don't know if that makes sense. You understand? So it's an addition by subtraction. You're subtracting the goals from Jude and you're adding the goals from Kylian. So basically, it's work done is equals to 0. However, on the defensive end, we've considered I think 5 more goals.
5 more. That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot. When you consider that we've just played I think 13 games or something like that, like that's a lot. 5 more goals is a lot. So this is the thing. Like so, the addition by subtraction did not work. You lose that defensive solidity, and you're not improving offensive wise. So this is a problem there.
Yeah. Do you actually see Carlo making any changes to the forward line then? Obviously, Rodrigo's still out injured. Courtois is still out. We're going to be depending on Lunin for this game. So it's pretty much going to be Mbappe and Vinicius up top, right? Or do you see a surprise inclusion of Brahim in there for the Milan game?
Nah, I don't see anything, man. I think it's definitely going to be, as you just said, it's going to be Kylian, and so of course, like we know that Rodrigo is out, so it's going to be just Kylian and Vinicius Junior. I don't think we would expect anything. If anything, like you're looking to see maybe Luka Modric on the pitch or something like that, but none of the Diaz or Artigler or Dani Ceballos.
Absolutely. Okay, let's actually go to the lineups then. Do you expect pretty much the same lineup as in the Clásico? This team has had a lot of time to train and play, but none of the injured players have actually come back. Do you expect to see the same lineup as in the Clásico?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. But what I would think is that like we would not go to play like we wouldn't play Milan with that high line that we tried against Barcelona. I think the same personnel but different approach. This is what I would say. I think I would say the same personnel but like with different approach. So because I think you're saying we have a lot of time to train, but I just feel like the ability to drill that is no longer what Carlos Forte is right now. Anymore like he's more of getting people into the best positions to perform. To perform to their optimum best. But right now, like even due to the injuries or like what is, of course we're not gonna come here and say injuries, but whatever. Like it's something that we have to highlight whether we like it or not. Yeah. So due to this, like players are not playing in the positions that they would love to, and because of that, like it's not they're not being as productive as they would like to be as well. So this is something. However, again, we're not playing the Milan of 2003, 2005, 2007. You understand? So right now we're playing a Milan that's filled with Samu Chukwueze, Noah Okafor, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Yunus Musa, and so on and so forth. You understand? So this is not we're not playing Clarence Seedorf and Gattuso and etc. You understand? So I do think it's a game that with all due respect to Milan, of course, like not to say anything, but I think this is a game that we should be able to have a superiority at least in midfield, compared to what how we were like unable to hold ourselves out in the second half against Barcelona. I think we should have see improvement, not a high line, and just I'm not expecting to see something extraordinary, but just like play out the game calmly, no pulses racing, and hopefully try to make a goal here and there and win the game.
Yeah, man, I agree. If we actually turn out a horrible performance, I would be even more hurt than the Clásico, because this is the Milan team that was struggling against Club Brugge until like Club Brugge had one player sent off. That's the kind of team that Milan is right now. Just completely out of form. and they're just not able to make the results work. So if we actually have a bad performance against this team, I'm just gonna lose it, man. Just like in the Clasico, maybe even more.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I see your point there, man. But what I'm just saying right now is, like, I understand that Milan is not in the best of shape, but again, like, it's a historical team, man. Like, it's a big game eventually, like, so sometimes, in this kind of games, like, the form just flies out of the window. And again, we know this is for Cheska's coach, who is literally fighting for, supremacy in the battle between him and, certain star players and, the board and etc. So it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit of a fight. And I get what you're saying, that, like, losing this game at the Bernabeu after the whole shambolic performance, from against Barcelona, and then the Ballon d'Or fiasco, and then this, it's literally like, yeah, of course, like, not just you. I think a lot of us are gonna, like, lose our shits and all that. But I do think, like, like, we will be able to take care of stuff, not in a convincing way. We're gonna be under threat here and there, but, eventually, like, we should be able to, to take care of stuff.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So should we do the lineups? So we're pretty much saying it's going to be the same from El Clasico. Lucas Vasquez, Militao, Rudiger, Mendy at the back, Bellingham on the right, Valverde on the left, Tchouaméni in the middle, and then Luka Modric in there as well.
Yeah, maybe a Camavinga this time around for Luka Modric.
Yeah.
Maybe, or even maybe a Camavinga for Tchouaméni. You never can tell. Maybe you have a midfield with Luka Modric as well, but you have a different kind of player, something like that, in the middle of the park to support Fede Valverde and because actually, Jacob, do you remember we saw like a statement coming out that like they're going to send Jude back to his position of last year. I think we read something like that on Twitter or some shit like that. No,
I did not read that, but I was hoping
just
for it.
just before the Clasico.
Oh, before the Clasico. I didn't read that.
Yeah, I think either before the Clasico or before Villarreal, like they were like, yeah, the experiment is done and Jude is gonna return back to his position of last year and blah blah blah, this and that. But I think again, as it's just as what we said earlier, it's like it's like addition by subtraction, right? You remove Jude from this position, you put Kylian Mbappe there, so it's addition by subtraction basically, So.
And you're subtracting way more. 5 goals is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like offensive perspective, like it's addition by subtraction. But from defensive perspective, of course, like yeah, everyone will come and say, oh, but you lost Tony Cruz, bro. Like Cruz wasn't the guy who was holding the defense down. Like of course, like yeah, like Cruz is press resistant player and this and that. But like I mean, the quality of our defenders have just dropped up, a lot this year. And we've said a lot. We've highlighted Ferdinand Mendy. He was someone who was like almost, indomitable right now. Like everyone is just passing him for fun. Then, of course, the absence of Dani Carvajal is also quite glaring. And, of course, the drop-in from of Tony Rudiger as well is also key there.
Yeah, it's all coming together at once. But do you think, okay, I think you're on the right track by saying we should actually give Camavinga a chance, right? We've tried the Tchouaméni experiment with this team setup and it's not really working. He just isn't that proactive to be the sole player, just carrying the midfield in front of the back line, right? So do you think Camavinga is going to be doing a bit better? Should we try that or should we just keep the status quo?
Oh, bro, I mean, the point is right now we're just hoping that something sticks, man. Honestly, like, I mean, it's really difficult, like, to look at this team and say, okay, like, doing this will change this or doing that will change that. Like, because honestly, I think we agree that a lot of these players have very similar profile. Athleticism, speed, explosion, this is what their best qualities are.
Yeah.
Like none of them, Jude included, all 4 of them, Jude, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Valverde. Like none of them technical ability is what, stands out most. No, it's more of their physicality and athleticism and their speed and explosiveness. That's what stands out the most, you understand? So right now, what we're lacking in this team is that technicality, is that player to pass the ball. You understand? Because, okay, people will say, oh yeah, but Kylian should stay offside. Bro, when Kylian scored the second goal, all 3 attackers were offside, which means that you should play the ball earlier or you should play the ball faster. So this is just the thing. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, they can make different kind of runs, but when all attackers are being offside at the same time, then it tells me that, okay, someone is not picking the right pass.
Exactly.
And of course, they're not picking the right pass because you're asking
I think
Rudiger
where
and Militao
people
to
are
do
coming
these
from
roles.
is right here. Okay, we know these guys are kind of limited technically. These guys can't pick out like the killer pass that can take out 3-4 defenders out of the game at once. But if we actually had a system that played to their strengths, that enable these guys to play 1-2 passes, release the ball quickly. Not incredible passes that Luka Modric and Cruz are doing. Just simple passes that can get the players fast to the towards the uh, second half of the pitch, man. And that's what is missing, right? The simple instructions to this midfield. They're just running like headless chickens. So do you think that will actually change with Carlo Ancelotti, or do we have to expect this for the rest of the season?
Man, I think you can guess what my answer will be. Even before I answer, you definitely know what my answer will be, bro. Like this is the rest of our life, man. As long as Carlo is is in the dugout, this is the rest of our life, bro. Like there is nothing to to expect or anything.
Sure, this is almost like turning into a loveless marriage. It's like you're saying this for the rest of your life. You're not getting divorced from this man.
I mean, honestly, this is just a thing. Like, I mean, in the same way we would praise Carlo as the guy who delivers trophies, it's the same way that I've always highlighted that. Okay, yeah, but like when you talk about plays and patterns and tactics and automations, he's also not the guy to bring that. So this is just the thing. It's like double-edged sword, and I everyone knows where I stand. Like at least everyone who's on the spot knows where I stand with regards to this. It's when you don't win, then what happens? Football eventually is entertainment.
Exactly.
So that's just the thing, and right now Carlo is just not that. In my opinion, he's no longer that guy. He was that guy in the past, but it's normal. Like, I mean, come on, everyone ages and stuff like that, so it's normal. It's definitely normal, and it's not it's not a like kind of dunking on him or anything like that. No, it's just this is what I feel. This is the reality. Like football is moving in a different way. Similarly, I would say the same thing about Jose Mourinho as well. Football is moving in a different direction. That's just a thing.
Totally agree with you, man. So that's it, folks. I mean, we're just gonna see pretty much the same lineup, same tactics, or same lack of tactics, and just hope for the best. Hope something sticks. But yeah, this is what we're stuck with right now. So yeah, man, let's go with the predictions. What do you think? This is gonna be a resounding win?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Before we go with the predictions, let's also highlight the fact that okay, like we've always said this, that okay, nobody wins anything in September and October, but we're moving towards November now. Like things need to start picking up. For all the doom and gloom, we're only 6 points behind Barcelona. Of course, like we lost 1 3-point advantage, but the point is, if we win the Clasico at their home, it's a 3-point gain. You understand? So more or less, like we know Barcelona is not gonna go the season all through. But the problem is that like right now we're not even right now. Historically, we've not been a very consistent team in the league. You understand? And also in Europe as well, the game runs till January. So like it's not like everything is finished or something like that. You understand? So this group of players can still reach that next level because this is what Carlo does best, right? Like bringing the best individual out of these players. You understand? The point is, if Kylian starts to play like the Kylian that we know, the reason why we felt that he was the best player in the world, if Rudiger returns to the form of what he had in the past, so it's like there is a push there. If Mendy all of a sudden remembers how to not get dribbled past that guy as well, so there is a push towards there. If Vinicius also is able to, take this disappointment and use it as a fuel, you understand? So there is a push.
Yeah.
We can make a push and everything. So it's not like everything is ended right now. So, and in all honesty, if there is a coach that can go past this, for all my faults, for all the faults I think Carlo has, actually, he's the one person that I think can go past all of this. I think him and Zidane are the guys I feel that, yeah, they can get past all of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, man, let's sorry for the interruption. We go to the whole predictions thingy.
Has it actually worked out for us? Like, how accurate has been our predictions? I think not very accurate, right?
A couple of times, I do remember like once Mo's prediction was like literally absolutely spot on, I think, and then of course like a couple of times I think yours was, but mine has been always absolute horseshit. Because I always go for 3-1 for some reason, and we never get to 3-1.
3 goals with this team? Wow, you're a brave man.
No, exactly. That's I said for some reason we never get to the third one.
Yeah. For me, I'm just gonna say a 2-0, man. I feel like these players know they need to have a reaction, and in front of the Bernabeu, the fire is gonna be behind their asses, and they're gonna leave it all on the line. And I don't think they're gonna give Morata or anyone else an inch. I feel like we're gonna see a strong reaction and a statement performance. That's what I feel. If I don't see that, I'll still be fine, but I still think a 2-0 is a reasonable result to expect.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you. I don't think the 2-0 is like an extravagant scoreline, but I do think for some reason like Milan will score. So I'm just gonna go again with my 3-1 scoreline. The
3-1.
yeah, 2 goal aggregate. But I do think like Milan's gonna score, so it's gonna be like a 3-1, and I think we're gonna see a reaction from the players. Honestly, I do think definitely we're gonna, because honestly like we've been the mockery of the social media and everything, and one thing we've seen is that like the club is absolutely silent on everything. There is nothing being in and out or something like that. But yeah, I think like we're gonna see a reaction from the players. So I think like yeah, it's gonna be a 3-1. But I say like it's nothing fancy or anything like that. We're just gonna see a reaction from them. Just win the game, nothing pulse racing or anything exciting. Just get the job done and move on to the next section, or rather to the next game.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Fingers crossed. But there you go, folks. That's it for the preview. So we're gonna get you match footage or footage from outside the Bernabeu, the fans' reactions and whatnot from Sid. Those are gonna be on social media and on the YouTube shorts and videos as well. So check that out after the match. Hopefully, we have something to celebrate with the fans, and it's all happy reels and whatnot. And check out our partners over at Real Madrid Committee. Their links are down in the description below. And last but not the least, if you're not liked this video yet or not subscribed yet for some reason, please do. It'll really help out the channel. And thanks, folks. Until next time. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.